In a previous video, I shared how Mary Lee Hahn, in her book Reconsidering Read Aloud, introduces the idea of a Read-Aloud gallery. If you haven't watched that video yet, I encourage you to go back and watch that one. This lesson or idea that I'm sharing with you builds on the Read-Aloud gallery. So instead of having one student at the end of a read aloud draw a picture or a graphic representation of the entire read aloud, what this teacher did is adapted that idea and had her students every day at the end of Read Aloud represent an image from that chapter. And so what she did was gave her students a sheet that looks like this, that's divided into boxes, one box for each chapter. And every day the ritual was at the end of Read Aloud, the students would take out their forms and just draw something for that chapter of the book. You can see a couple of examples here. Students can then collect these forms and put them into a notebook. So instead of a Read Aloud gallery that's hanging up in the classroom, each student has a 2-pocket, 3-pronged folder, and they add their forms into the folder so that as the year progresses, they have a sheet or a couple of sheets to represent each book that you've read. And now they have a record of each of these books that they can flip through. And you can do the same thing that you do with the Read Aloud gallery, do some comparing and contrasting. The added benefit to this adaptation is that every student is involved in creating the images to represent the book. And it's going a little bit deeper because they're summarizing every single chapter. So at the end of the chapter book, they can look back and see the storyline developing. They can see a summary. So there's so much that you can do with this even after you have finished the book in terms of literal comprehension, retelling, summarizing, comparing characters, looking at characters' changes across the book, because you have this visual representation all the way across the book. So just another adaptation of the Read Aloud gallery. So I invite you to try one or both of these out in your own classroom.